and welcome to the Alberta Council of Disability Services Accreditation Webinar Series. My name is Corinne Thomas. Before we start, I'd like to let you know that the notes for this presentation are available on the ACDS website. In addition, feel free to pause the video at any time should you want some independent discussion. Thank you. Hello and welcome to the introduction to the Creating Excellence Together Level 2. My name is Corinne Thomas, and I'm going to take about the next 10 minutes to talk to you about what is different about Level 2. When looking at the quality of life, there was a lot of discussion about what is a Level 2 indicator look like for individuals in terms of their quality of life. And basically, organizations should be providing the best quality for their individuals, so there should not be two distinct levels. However, surveyors will be looking for best practice and not just minimum standard for these Level 1 indicators. So for example, for Level 1, individuals are part of their communities, they go to activities on a regular basis. Level 2, what we look for is that individuals have a sense of belonging, they're a valued member in their community. In terms of quality of service, there are many different areas that, again, we look for that higher standard, but there's 3 specific standards that we look for when we're looking at Level 2 indicators: relationships, rights, and community inclusion. In terms of relationships, we are looking at the support that staff provide that allows them to have a deeper than just an acquaintance. So individuals have a sense of belonging. They have a consistent group of friends. They have a partner if they choose. If there's risk involved, staff support and help the individual work through that by providing training and information. Individuals are encouraged to be as independent as possible and then have the information and support needed when it's needed. Having these connections in the community, those natural supports, will help build on their safety and help minimize the potential of being victimized. In terms of rights, we're looking at self-advocacy. So organizations should have either an in-house self-advocacy group or be involved in a community one. Supporting individuals to tell their stories has a huge impact on our sector. Organizations should have examples of how they support and encourage individuals to speak out for themselves and not just speak on behalf of the individuals, but really helping the individuals to do that for themselves. In terms of community inclusion, it's necessary for staff to not just support individuals in their communities, but help them learn to participate in activities in the community and connect meaningful with people. And be involved in everyday activities just like you or I. From that, natural supports and valued roles are identified, and being truly connected in the communities, again, helps with safety and minimizing the potential of being victimized. In terms of the organizational framework section, about half of the standards, have indicators that are at Level 2. What surveys look for are examples of innovative practice that goes above and beyond what is considered to be minimum standard within our sector. Level 2 is for service providers who want to strive for a higher level of excellence. For service providers who want to increase their knowledge in the field and set higher goals for themselves and better outcomes for them to work towards. Seeking to accomplish Level 2 is a major undertaking and reflects on the service provider's drive to be the best that they can be. The next few slides provide a few examples of how or what we look for in terms of Level 2. So for example, in terms of human resources planning, organizations' human resources planning doesn't just consider adequate coverage, but looks at strategic and purposeful planning, looking at the long term, looking at the different factors such as organizational, workforce factors, trends within our sector. And it doesn't just focus on the immediate, but also the long-term goals and what's going on long-term within the organization, and maybe the need for succession planning, for example. Organizations who strive for Level 2 should be an employer of choice, and that's seen through employee success as well as employee satisfaction. Currently, our sector is an unregulated profession, and by striving for Level 2, it supports staff within our sector to help support individuals with disabilities and not just take it as a job, but as a career. And this staffing stability can be maintained and provided better service for the individuals. Organizations must practice due diligence and review their policy and procedures on a regular basis, but also look at best practice and review against current trends, as well as aligning with legislation and ethical practices. This all again helps you be an employer of choice. Strategic long-term planning needs to be considered when you're looking at staff training. This is so important to ensure that not only staff take the training, but understand and are proficient with that training so that they can provide the best support to individuals they work with. Again, we want to look at that big picture thinking and look at career planning to encourage staff to go back to school, to take additional courses, to move up the ladder within the organization, to be able to do their job better. All those things, being able to stay with the organization long term, because that ultimately provides the best possible service for the individuals. Including everybody, so staff, individuals, guardians, management, the board, in evaluation shows that organizations are striving to be the best they can be because they're looking at feedback from everyone to ensure that they are doing their due diligence and are committed to quality improvement. Striving for this higher standard is seen as proactive planning, and it then takes into consideration things like unanticipated outcomes or negative outcomes that come about because of planning. Ensuring that all parts of planning are reviewed on a regular basis, especially against the purpose and values and mandate of an organization, helps provide the best quality of service because you're looking at ensuring that you're doing that to a distinct population, so your policies and your procedures and your guidelines are all in place specific to that clientele. Having a formalized service completion process looks at taking the balanced information and sharing that with future service providers or future funders. It ensures that everybody is going to be kept as safe as possible and that it will continue to provide the best possible service for the individual once they leave that service provider. When it comes to supporting individuals with complex needs, risk needs to be assessed and a balance between confidentiality and privacy and disclosure needs to be considered. These are just a few examples of what it takes to be a Level 2 organization. So thank you for taking the time to learn more about what Level 2 is all about. If you have any additional questions, feel free to email us. Thank you and good luck as you prepare for CET.